I've got it here on my motorcycle stand today because it's honestly about the size of a motorcycle, and so the stand lifts it up a little bit, so I can work on it without bending over so much, and it works beautifully. So let's see, to start, I have made a few changes to it. The pedals that came on the bike, well, let me start with the bike itself first. The bike is an aluminum frame, and if you look at the sticker back here, it's 6061 aluminum, which is a real popular aluminum to use for bicycle frames and all that. It's about 98% aluminum, about 1% magnesium, and almost 1% silicon. And it's just a real nice aluminum to use. You can form it nicely. It also welds very nicely, and it's strong. So that's why bike manufacturers use it so much. You'll see 6061 on an awful lot of aluminum frames. So good quality aluminum. They did a nice job of casting some of these pieces. The welding's nice. They left exposed welding, which I actually prefer. They ground some of the other welds just to smooth everything out. I honestly kind of like to see a nice weld. I think that's very, very cool. But the frame is awesome. This rear section here, linkage is all very sturdy. The rear triangle here is the swing arm. Reminds me of like a 1970s Yamaha YZ sort of strength here, because this is just really overbuilt. It's huge. I don't know if you can tell just how huge that is, but there is no way that you're ever gonna break this thing. It's super strong. The air shock's nice. It's kind of funny, I had the bike for weeks and I knew that the air shock had a lockout here. You flip this blue switch over. Get it? Can't really see what I'm showing you with the GoPro here, but if you flip that over, that's a lockout, so nothing moves here. You got a rigid rear end if you want to use that for climbing and all. Some people like that, so you don't get a little bit of that pogo effect when you're pedaling hard. I just keep the suspension engaged. What I didn't realize this air shock had was, if you go around to the other side here, I may need a flashlight here, but right here on the shock, there's an adjuster. Hope you can see that. And it says slow and fast right there. So that's your rebound. You can adjust how quickly it rebounds. You can adjust how hard the shock is by how much air pressure you have in it, and you got the lockout. So it's actually a really nice shock. I didn't know what to expect with that, but that's great. That's actually better than some of the rock shocks that I have on some of my other mountain bikes. The forks, I'm loving. These things are great. You got compression adjustment here. If you crank it all the way to the right there, you've got lockout. I've been keeping it about 4 clicks back to the left. It's just a setting I like. And then over on the other side here, you've got preload, and this is an adjustable as well. And I don't really have a setting to tell you that I've been keeping mine on. I've just adjusted it in and out, found the spot where I like it the best, and that's where I've left it. The triple trees are really nice. They did big, they're CNC cut, big cutouts on either side to lighten up everything, top and bottom. So your clamps are awesome. Those are really nice. The forks seem to work beautifully. I mean, I've had it on some pretty rough stuff, and Everything's been great. Super happy with those, and I love the look, so can't beat that. The stem length and all that, I'm just almost, right at 6 foot, and this length is perfect for me. I haven't even peeled the plastic off the protective film off of my screen yet, because I'm leaving it on through the muddy part of the year here, so that I don't scratch the screen in the spring when things are drier and I'm not riding through mud and salt rock and all of the crud they put on the road to try to melt the ice, magnesium and all that. Then I'll peel that off. This is a seat that I put on. I'll get to that in a minute. This light I put on. And so far I've needed nothing in the way of shifter adjustments, or nothing's has come out of adjustment, and my shifting with the Altus has been 100% accurate. Never miss a shift. It's super positive. I'm really liking it. It's got the Altus shifter there. This shifter up here, that is Altus as well. It's showing the 9-speed here. That is a super positive shift, and for being a mid-range shifter and all that, I could put a much more expensive shifter on this thing and it wouldn't work any better. It works awesome. So I think that was a real good choice for them. One thing that I wish that was different was they put their lugs for, a bottle carrier or your tire pump or whatever you want to attach to the frame right on the top there. And this has already got, this bike has a really high standover height. So if you added a bottle up here, that would be dangerous. You wouldn't even be able to touch the ground if you slid off the seat. So unless you're 6'11" or something. So I wish that Cyrusher would put these maybe down here. I know it's a little cramped, but I think you could still get a bottle in here, and I think it would work all right. So that would be nice. Let's see. The pedals, I bought some aftermarket pedals. They cost me, I think, $25 brand new with shipping. So they weren't expensive, but they're a 3-bearing pedal. So there's a bearing out here and 2 right here, I believe. But they're much, much smoother than what came on here. So these are what came on, and they just, even, when pedals are new, they're a little bit stiff, but I rode with these for about 180 miles and they never really loosened up. I just felt like I was losing energy because they were so hard to spin. So I replaced those with these, which are great. They're a little bit bigger platform. Got these little spikes on them that work nicely. Really keep your foot in place. I took off the bike came with this rear light, which there's nothing wrong with. Let me remember how to turn this on here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So it's got one function, and it's a solid LED tail light like that. So what I did was take that off, and I'll unsnap this one. But I like these lights. I've run these on some of my road bikes, and it's a little hard to do one-handed here. But these are really nice lights. This particular set comes, even though they're all muddy and everything, comes from these guys here. Asher. They're LED bike set, 4 light modes, and they're rechargeable USB. So they come with a cord. You just pull the little rubber plug and plug them in to recharge, but they last a really long time on a charge. And you've got a super bright solid, you've got a slightly dimmer solid, you've got a flashing, and you've got a 3-burst, or 2-burst, I guess. And all of those are just, it's super visible. You can see that from a really long ways away. So this particular kit comes with a rear, which is red, and the front here, which is a white light. And so you can either use that as just a headlight, or you can use that as a front flasher. Same thing, just in white. So those are nice. Makes you, anything to make you more visible is absolutely worth doing. That said, I did take off the reflectors that come on the wheels. This type of reflector I don't really like, because they had these just stuck like that on the spoke on the outside, and I guess they stay pretty well. But my thought is, if I hit a rock with this right, or do a sort of a hard landing, this thing's going to pop out, and I don't want it to get into my brakes or do any damage. So I take those off, and I just rely on flashing lights and the fact that I always wear something really bright when I'm riding. So my general riding gear is, a helmet, and which this one is a Fox here. I like that helmet. And summertime, I like these reflective vests, like you see the construction workers wear. Super reflective and super bright during the day. Wintertime, I wear like orange fleece or an orange coat that's warmer than fleece, depending on the weather. It's been super cold around here this winter, so I've mostly been wearing a fleece with my orange coat over the top. But those are a few of the things that I've already replaced. I also am carrying a pump and a tire repair kit. Little mini pump here. These guys work well. It takes a minute to pump up a tire this big, but they're nice. They work fine. I also have carried those CO2 pumps, which are nice. With smaller tires, regular mountain bike tires, you sometimes have to be careful with the CO2s, because you can actually overinflate and blow up your tire or your tube. But with the volume being as big as it is on these, that's probably not an issue with a single CO2. Just buy one of the CO2 fillers that has like a regulator, not the ones that just go until they run out. They make cheaper ones like that. Let's see. Obviously the seat, I think I already did a video on that. The seat was the first thing I replaced, just because I like kind of road bike, true mountain bike seats versus the big cushy seats here. Just a personal thing. If you are into the big cushy seats, I know that Cloud9 makes some real popular seats. This one actually isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with it. Seems very comfortable. It's just way too soft for me. You can also buy these gel covers that go on a stock seat if you want something that's ridiculously soft. These gel things are kind of funny. And then it has a cover that goes on and zips over. That will give you the ultimate in gel softness there. The chain, I've only lubed once to this point in 200 miles. And what I use for that is the Silcoline Pro Chain here. It's a real sticky stuff that won't fly off your chain. As you can see, it doesn't attract a whole lot of dirt and crud. It just kind of lubricates and gets in there and will make your chain last longer. You don't want to break a chain too far from home unless you got a lot of battery and you can just use your throttle. Also, I know a lot of people, for years mountain biking, I always used to use slime in my tires. I don't use this stuff anymore. I still keep it around for like lawnmowers and wheelbarrows and that kind of thing. But for bikes and motorcycles, I use Flat Out. They guarantee this stuff 10 years. They say it'll last for 10 years. And it's actually really easy to put in. You put your valve stem up at the top here. Put it up about 12 o'clock. You pop off the lid of this thing here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. You pull your tube out, and you take this off the end. On the bottom side of this is a valve core extractor. You remove your valve core from the stem and squirt in this stuff. This bottle here, I think that's about $20 these days. Everything's so expensive anymore. Maybe 25 now. But this will do 4 tires this size. So you can do your set here, and you can do some of your motorcycle tires or something. So this stuff works incredibly well. It's not silicone, or not silicone, latex based like the old slime, which is just makes a mess inside when you're got this stuff in your tube and then you try to patch your tube with a patch. Good luck. This stuff gets in the way. This stuff works so well that unless it's actually just a huge slice, like you ran over a full-on bottle that sliced your tire, a ½ inch long or something, this Flat Out will actually seal it. It's really good stuff. So use that in these. I went for a ride recently in an area that has a whole lot of cactus, and I was lucky that I got out without any flats, but I'm not going to push it. And today I'm going to put some of this stuff in. You guys don't need to see me do that. You know how to do it, I'm sure, and there are videos out there if you don't. So but I'm just saying this is by far the best product that I've found for putting in tires, and also I don't seem to have as much problem with this stuff freezing inside the tube as the slime ever. I used to get like ice chunks of slime inside my tubes in cold weather riding, which was weird. So let's see, the rest of the bike has a few things that I hadn't noticed originally that are very cool. Some of the guys talk about adding this torque bar here to your motor, and the reason for this is it locks the axle in place, because if your hub nuts ever work themselves loose for any reason, suddenly your motor isn't pushing out here, it's spinning the axle in the mount, in the dropout there. So this stops that from ever happening, so it's cool that it comes with that. The Logan brakes are nice. My only complaint is I need to pull one of these calipers and see what sort of pads that are using in there, because if they're using semi-metallic or something, that's why I'm getting the squeaking that I'm getting. What I will put in, if they are semi-metallic, is some organic pads, which are softer, and they actually have a nicer feel. They grip better, and you don't get that brake squeal generally out of those. So I need to do some investigation on what they have in there and see if I can get rid of that occasional rear wheel brake squeal. But other than that, super happy with the bike. It's doing awesome. Been so much fun so far. I'm really glad I spent the money and got it, because it's getting me out riding way more than I used to, and can't wait for spring, because we're going to put in some serious miles on this thing. I've got some outings planned over some of the passes here in Colorado that ought to be real fun. So I guess that's it for today. That's kind of what I've noticed at 200 miles out, and hope this helps you guys a little bit on your decision whether or not to get one, and if you've got one, maybe some ideas on what you too may want to change. So hey, thanks for watching.